I wanted to do one more soundbite from the AOC Bernie interview before we completely move on from that, because it was kind of interesting and maybe potentially telling. And it was on the subject of whether she's going to challenge Chuck Schumer in his next senatorial bid. Here it is.
But are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
I mean,
all right.
No.
Let me jump in on this one. This is what we're
talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're talking about.
You have a country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run? What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. She'll run more towards
Nobody cares. It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issue.
Exactly.
And here, let me tell you what the real issue is. Let's see if CNN talks about it.
And you'll just have to wonder because we cut the soundbite too early. Okay. Why it was about healthcare, but why such an adverse reaction to the subject of whether she's going to challenge Chuck Schumer in a primary bid?
She kind of had that blush, didn't she? That the first thing before she started gesticulating wildly.
Listen back to I thought she said no at the beginning and then spun that into something else.
She did say no, but she might have been saying no. That's not what I'm saying. So
I mean, right. When you say this, when you do this, well, this is what the media does. This is the problem. It's not. It's actually, that is the problem with politicians. It's a totally sensible question. It's a question that New Yorkers want to know, that people that are interested in politics want to know, that America would like to know about. It's a totally reasonable question. And the deflection is here to say, well, there's other things happening in the world that are bad. Can you not walk and chew gum?
Yeah, but
we do not have two questions we can talk about. And they do talk about, because I watched that damn thing, they do talk about healthcare. They do talk about all these other things. Is it what is wrong with asking that question? That is a complete ridiculous,
but
what about
the safest politics in America is being mad at the media.
This is true.
Yeah, because Americans hate the media more than they hate even their own lives. Yeah. Or actually, they love their own lives. They hate the media.
The Democrats don't hate the media.
Democrats hate the media too.
Bernie does.
The populist side, right? Populism, there's a reason why Bernie and Trump both kind of rose up at the same time. And that part of the Democratic Party has always had something against the media. I covered the Ralph Nader campaign in 2000 when he got 2.7% of the vote. He was against the oligarchs in the media and the corporate media this and the corporate media that. Every single day, he wouldn't stop talking about it. And it's popular because people do feel alienated from the media. I think their analysis of the media has been absolutely wrong for a really long time. And they will say with a straight face that the media is run by Republicans and corporate lobbies. And they've been saying that for 30 years. They're wrong, but it's a popular message. You can always blame it. I was once moderating a Libertarian Party debate, God help me, like a presidential debate. I know, back in like 2016 or something. And one of the candidates just decided, and he's a guy I know, and am friendly with, but he decided to take a perfectly normal question like, would you abolish everything? And then that's the problem with the media. And then afterwards, he's just sort of like sheepishly like, I got to do that.
The problem with the media is they don't pay attention. I'll give an example of this on the kind of left version of this is John Oliver, who is apparently a comedian, but he has a show on HBO. And he did a whole piece on my friend Barry Weiss the other day. And in the lead up to
it was so dishonest. Keep going.
Oh, horrible. But in 10 minutes, he's like, the corporate media. And he talks about Jeff Bezos and the guy who owns the LA Times now, Patrick, whatever his name is.
Soon Xiong.
Soon Xiong, and he's been on your show. He's a bit maha. Jeff Bezos, who's nobody's idea of a conservative, but he's been, say, let's make the editorial page of the Washington Post, free minds and free markets, like reason. So now he's in the sights of people like this. But it's like, I was thinking, watching this, have you never heard of Carlos Slim? Have you never heard of any of these other billionaires who have taken over media corporations? And the reason now that they're re-spinning this is that, well, they're becoming a little bit disaffected, and you have people bringing Barry Weiss in to shake it up. CBS, the third place in the ABC, CBS, NBC ratings sweepstakes for news, and that terrifies them. So now they're turning all the guns on the media because the owners in their, I think this is a completely demented worldview, are people that are nominally of the right. This is our territory. We get to own the media, not you guys. When we do, and that's, and Bernie Sanders, one obvious thing that is so damn obvious that you don't even notice it. And he's like, is CNN going to talk about this? And it's like, you're on You're on CNN. Why is it
Moynihan, you're very good at the imitations. Yeah, we've noticed this before. But you're very talented at that. Here's what's really bothering now. Okay, so first of all you saw for the listening audience was extreme physical discomfort. Like, she got the hands above the midline immediately. He jumped in to save her. Clearly, they both knew that she did not want to talk about primarying Chuck Schumer, and that if that were to come up, he was going to run in to save her. He was a little asleep at the switch, so she got really uncomfortable. She doesn't want to talk about it, which suggests she's going to do it. Either that or a presidential run, I don't know. But for whatever reason, she really didn't want to talk about it and wasn't able to deftly handle it like any politician can when they get asked a question that they don't want to answer. That's, a day ending in Y, that it should be. But on the subject of like why they're getting so upset about these media buys, maybe this has something to do with it. I'm trying to find our pal Harry Enton. He's on my very long sought list someplace. I'm searching. There we go. Okay, SOT 3. I started on the wrong page. Yeah, SOT 3. Maybe this has something to do with it.
You go back to April, Kate Baldwin. What were we looking at? Well, we were looking at the Democrats with a very clear shot of taking control of the U.S. House of Representatives, according to the Kalshi prediction market odds. We saw them at an 83% chance. But those odds have gone plummeting down. Now we're talking about just a 63% chance, while the GOP's chances up like a rocket, up like gold, up from 17% to now a 37% chance. Go back to April. Look at the generic congressional ballot. What you see? You see +3 Democrats in 2025 in April. You see +3 Democrats back in April of 2017. Now jump over to this side of the screen. What happens? Well, the Democrats are no longer keeping pace with the pace that they were setting back in 2017, 2018. You look back in 2017, you saw that the Democrats had leaped up to an 8-point advantage. I think a lot of folks like myself are looking at this. We're seeing, hey, wait a minute. Those national polls Democrats are not gaining the way that we expected. Then you add in the fact that the state legislators are adding potentially more GOP seats like they've already done down in Texas, like they've done in Missouri. And then you add in the potential gutting of the VRA, and all of a sudden it becomes much more difficult for Democrats to gain.
So that's a long way of saying they would like to blame the media for their newfound electoral problems. It's got to be the evil media getting bought up by all these Republicans as opposed to us and our own messages that are tone deaf and off point and driving people away and have rendered the Democratic Party the worst thing one can be, which is totally uncool.
It's amazing to be in the position that they're in right now and not having a huge structural advantages, right? Like the president always loses ground in the midterms. It just it's unless you are Bill Clinton and it's you're in the middle of an impeachment process in your second term, which sort of creates a boomerang effect. And the averages are staggeringly high. Donald Trump is a divisive, polarizing politician who his numbers never go too low, but they never go too high either. And he's been around for a long time. And there can be people who like him and they just have Trump fatigue enough already with all the craziness. It's incredibly favorable atmosphere for which them to run, and they're doing this not greatly. I think it's incredibly damning of where Democrats are right now.
You got Trump fatigue, but you've also got resistance fatigue. I think a lot of people are exhausted by the hyperbolic rhetoric about fascism is coming, even while you're seeing these somewhat controversial policies where the National Guard gets deployed in Illinois, and you've got this No King's Day response, and there's scenes of tear gas. There are these scenes of people being grabbed up in courthouses and various other places. Like it's charged. You would actually expect it to have more repercussions, perhaps to show up in the polling a little bit more. The Democrats,
people are in favor of it.
They're not doing anything, and they are still losing ground. It's very strange.
The people, I think to make a point, people are in favor of it, and the kind of those momentary scenes come and go. I think one of the things you can't underestimate is that we saw a lot of polling about how Democrats and how Republicans, particularly young Democrats and Republicans, were moving away from Israel. on when it came to foreign policy. That ultimately doesn't matter when you see what happens with the hostages being released, Donald Trump speaking in front of the Knesset, world leaders praising him, everybody in Israel praise the man, by the way, who is, he has dinner with Nick Fuentes as an anti-Semite, and there's a big image of him on the beach of Tel Aviv that he can see flying in on Air Force One. I mean, God, these Jews in Israel have really misunderstood this anti-Semite that they're cheering and wearing MAGA hats. It's like, I kind of trust them.
He's such a bad anti-Semite. Trump sucks at anti-Semitizing.
Oh my God, he's the worst anti-Semite of all time in the way that he's not good at it. Don't take that out of context, people. But the thing about you'd see he's the worst anti-Semite. Good Lord. Just flip it there. But no, the amazing thing to me is you have somebody on TV, and this pains me to say this, but you have AOC and Bernie Sanders. And Bernie is the guy that could do it. AOC is the one who can't, because the first clip we saw of AOC is exactly why. Is she going to run for president, et cetera? She can't. And the reason she can't is the thing that pains me to say is Americans, unfortunately for us libertarian types, they love economic populism. They love this stuff. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about how we're kicking people off of health care, and she's, drifting away from, even further away from that former version of like Reaganite conservatism, which was free market, et cetera. But the problem is they're saddled by this cultural policy.
Right.
AOC cannot get away. You see the Zoran Mamdani doing like a run for Gaza, on like October 8th or something, and saying that, I don't want to, I'm the mayor of New York. It's like, you're running for Gaza. Like, what? You care about these issues? These are issues that are not popular amongst like a broad swath of people because they're too extreme. I mean, when she's talking about men and the toxicity and blah, 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 you can't be present by it. If you just did the Bernie thing, that is how Democrats could gain ground. Harry would be showing different numbers.
Yeah, and this plays up also to Virginia, right? I mean, you have a gubernatorial race there that is now getting saddled with AOC-like culture war issues that it absolutely does not need to be.
Complete cell phone.
It's a complete cell phone. Yeah. It's not hard to say, no, I'm against this. You shouldn't fantasize about the death of people, and we shouldn't have in high schools or junior high schools people who were born male in a female locker room. That's not a hard, straightforward.
Did you guys see that setup that the Dems tried to do on Winsome Sears yesterday, and it completely backfired on them? So the Democratic Party of Virginia tweeted out at Winsome Earl Sears, saying Sears must call on these young Republicans implicated in the racist text scandal to step down from their positions. And Winston Sears retweeted it with a response that read, "Easy, they absolutely must step down. Now it's your turn, Abigail." I mean, just such a burn. So good. They did not see that.
Winsome.
Right?
So we're yelling that because Winsome is Jamaican like Camille. So,
well, I'm an American. I was born here.
Yeah.
But
she nailed it. And Abigail Spanberger has still not withdrawn her endorsement of the I love murdering Republican children, Jay Jones, but so make me Attorney General. Instead, the Democrats want to talk about these young Republicans in that text thread. Buy gold and get free silver. That's right. For every $5,000 purchased from Birch Gold Group this month in advance of Veterans Day, they're going to send you a free patriotic silver round that commemorates the Gadsden and American flags. Look, gold is up over 40% since the beginning of this year, and Birch Gold can help you own it by converting an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. Plus, they will send you free silver honoring our veterans on qualifying purchases. And if you are current or former military, Birch Gold has a special offer just for you. They are waiving custodial fees for the first year on investments of any amount. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider diversifying your savings into gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 for a free info kit and to claim your eligibility for free silver with qualifying purchase before the end of the month. Okay, before the end of the month. Again, text MK to the number 989898. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.